But Labor Day, I don't know. What was this guy's name in Thor Ragnarok? Scourge?
Yeah.
Do you think his character is redeemed in Thor Ragnarok right here when he takes the guns?
Yeah, I think it is.
You think he's going to be in the heaven of what?
You mean Valhalla?
Yeah.
He possibly could. I always wanted to see him with Enchantress. They never did Enchantress.
What do you mean? Who's that?
She's kind of like a one.
That reminds me of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, well, Enchantress was in the Thor mythology as someone who she liked Thor, and she would always try to bend him to her will. He was like her little puppy dog guy, like he was like simping for her.
So similar to what's going on here. He's kind of just simping on Ella, but he just wants to be a survivor. I mean, I would try to live too. I mean, you do what you can, right?
Yeah.
But Thor, all right, it's officially coming out on streaming September 8th, I think. Love and Thunder. And now in She-Hulk, on episode 2, we saw Smart Hulk headed back to what we assume is Sakaar. We don't know if his Sakaar is going to be in ruins. We don't know if his son's going to be in charge. We don't know exactly what's going to take place, but it looks like it's shaping up to be a World War Hulk type of thing.
I hope they can get this off the ground and kind of make nice with Universal, because that's why we haven't seen a Hulk movie, a solo movie, is because...
What's the holdup there?
Well...
Sony seems to be all right with...
but Universal, is not. I mean, so different company, different relationship.
So wouldn't She-Hulk belong to Universal then?
Not necessarily. It's kind of like some complicated legal shit, but
nope, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but the thing is, Universal did the Hulk movie back in 2003.
Gotcha.
So this was back here when Marvel had sold their properties and everything to different studios. Well, with Hulk, okay, they came out with the movie and it made like $131 million. Had this kind of a disappointing box office, and so they didn't really, make a sequel to that movie either. So they rebooted it once they got the rights back, but it's something like with some complicated mess with the film rights, and it's like, then I think Namor had some complicated film rights with Universal too.
Okay.
So, but Namor's coming to Black Panther,
right.
Wakanda Forever. So it's just some whole legal shit with Universal.
But you were saying this is the last time we saw what?
Savage Hulk.
Savage Hulk. So, obviously, I think, Kevin Feige listens to the fans. I don't think Smart Hulk's been the favorite.
No, because the thing is, that's why he's, like, a lot of people are questioning, like, oh, man, why is, like, it seems like Hulk is weaker than She-Hulk. Well, you have to understand, Smart Hulk has taken over, that body. So he's not going to be, as savage. Because the Savage Hulk is very, very powerful.
Do you believe there's a real mix of Hulk in there?
I do. I mean, with the strength and everything, but the personality is all Bruce Banner. Yeah. And it was like that, like during the Peter David run, had Banner's intellect with the Hulk's strength.
Who's Peter David for the people?
Peter David is a prolific, comic book writer. So from 1987 to 1999, he wrote the definitive run of Hulk.
The heyday of Hulk, the golden age of Hulk.
And so you dive deep into the character. He also came up with the Gray Hulk, the Mr. Fix-It Hulk, who worked for the mob. Yeah.
What the hell is he doing for the mob?
And he's basically a mob enforcer.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Who's not going to pay?
Yeah, exactly. And that's one Hulk that people have been wanting to see on screen is the Gray Hulk. It's
all technically the same Hulk or different issues or different universes?
Well, it's the same Hulk, but the mind is kind of is like a different personality. Like you have the simple-minded, strong Hulk, then you have the smart Hulk, Professor Hulk,
right?
And you have that gray Mr. Fix-It Hulk.
Dude, so with the Abomination in She-Hulk, I did not know that Abomination had only one personality, unlike Bruce and Hulk.
Yeah.
And, She-Hulk only has one personality. It's her. But has Abomination always been like that, or is that just adjusted?
I think it may be adjusted because I remember like the Abomination was just like that monster.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's just that monster who basically was like, you know, I want to kick Hulk's ass. You know, that's what he lived for.
And to be fair, they can play it in that direction, right? Because we didn't see too much of it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, when we first saw the Abomination back in 2008, he was under orders from the government. You know, hey, you know, I want you to take out this threat. He wanted that super soldier formula injected into him because when he got his ass beat up, he kind of figured, I can't take on Hulk as I am, so I got to have an edge or something to help me, you know, bring this guy down.
And I was rewatching a couple of scenes, bro. You remember when he's in the hospital and he's just pissed off?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the scene where, you know, then he gets injected, you know, with that super soldier serum. But it was a super soldier serum that was not perfect.
Well, in what way though?
Because, you know, like they had been trying to perfect that, you know, super soldier serum, but it just wasn't quite right. It wasn't the one that was given to Steve Rogers to become Captain America.
Dude, yeah. Have they ever been able to recover that?
I don't think so. Because I remember there was, I think they did, and I remember it was like I never really followed the storyline through where Steve Rogers lost his powers. He was basically reverted back to skinny Steve. Yeah. And I was like, huh. But I never saw how he got back to being Captain America. I didn't follow the storyline through.
They say Captain America might come back at as an old age Cap, maybe.
I've been hearing rumors about that. I mean,
dude, but same with She-Hulk. So they had Megan Thee Stallion, and I mean,
there was a lot of backlash about because
we're not talking about the twerking. I think any guy can appreciate that actually. But you said something interesting before we started.
Yeah, the VFX workers were really pissed off because they were like, you know, you can sit up here and pay Megan Thee Stallion for like this glorified cameo, yet you can't pay us for the hard work we do.
And they're being worked to the bone, dude.
Yeah, and I've been hearing things about that, and you know, it's like this. You have a short deadline. Yeah, you're gonna be working some hours, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure they work a lot of hours anyway. Like you know, okay, they shoot 6 months. So they have, you know, maybe 6 to 8 months to finish that stuff. You know they're working some long hours. Trying to get everything right.
I mean, she got paid, Megan Thee Stallion, to be on the show, obviously, but would it have made that much of a difference?
No. Come on, dude. It's a cameo.
Yeah.
It was just a fun cameo, dude. That's all that was.
And that's what the show is. And you know, I watched it this last episode. I didn't stay up all night. I watched it the following morning.
Me
Thank
too.
you very much. And I thought it was pretty good. I took a step back and I was like, you know, that did look like a CW show, but
it kind of has that tone to it, I guess.
And that's okay.
But here's the thing. And one thing I was discussing with my friend Richie is that not everything can be action-oriented, dark, and action-packed and serious. You're going to have, I mean, that's what the Marvel Universe is. You're going to have lighthearted moments, you know, or you know, a show that's lighter in tone. That's what it is. And that's one thing that, like, the Star Wars universe, you know, in the comics has benefited from. You know, you have, like, some silly takes and, you know, comedic takes and everything, but it seems like they don't want to do that. They just want everything to be, you know, the same. You know, that's not what the Marvel Universe is, because you have different corners where you have, you know, certain things that deal, you know, like with the lighthearted stuff, you know, like She-Hulk. Then you have your, you know, your serious stuff like the X-Men. Then you have your horror stuff with Blade and Morbius. You know, you have different pockets, you know, and Kevin Feige is going to give us different pockets of the Marvel Universe.
He definitely will, and he definitely has, and he definitely will continue to do so. For instance, he showed the Abomination in Shang-Chi, hence planting the seed. I think it's safe to say anything you see as a cameo or even a reference from now on
is gonna pay off. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's smart. He doesn't just, here you go, like, deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of like plants the seeds and lets them grow and gets people talking too. Because like now people are wondering if we're going to see Abomination again. And I think we will. I think we will see Abomination again.
I think it's a must, especially if we think it's going to be leading to like a World War Hulk, or maybe
And-
he goes back to Sakaar, sees his son's dead or his wife or something, because now he has Hulk's memories
Yeah.
as Smart Hulk. So he probably does remember. Like,
Well,
oh,
I mean,
might
I
have a
think he
kid.
always, those memories are always going to exist. They're part of the same person. It's
And-
just one now kind of leads the pack.
And think about it. Time moves slow or faster depending where you are in Sakaar. And think about it. When we last saw Hulk, Savage Hulk, getting on that plane and leaving the Avengers, and then all of a sudden Thor and him are having conversations, he's learned to speak.
Yeah.
We didn't see that.
You know, it's in the comics and in like any type of adaptation that was based on him, he did speak. Now, he didn't speak in the 70s and early 80s TV show. They just left him mute. But he can speak. He does, speak a few words.
I'm just referencing the Kevin Feige stage of it all, because that's a big thing people kind of overshadow. He wasn't saying, I'm just always angry, like he was just saying Hulk smash maybe once.
Yeah. I mean, and he can speak, but it's very, as you saw, is like kind of like very deliberate, very kind of primitive speaking.
There's like different theories out there. Could we see him eventually come back?
That's Savage Hulk.
Maybe, is it the Maestro or Maestro?
Maestro is a future version of the Hulk. So like when it's like a post-apocalyptic,
which maybe could happen because of the time moving maybe faster or slower in Sakaar.
Or maybe in like in a multiverse saga.
Okay.
Because this is the multiverse saga, so we possibly could see, the Maestro Hulk. I would love to see that, basically an evil version of the Smart Hulk.
But it's him, right?
Yeah, it is Bruce Banner. It is, the Hulk that we all know and love.
So what? Why is he all evil? It looks like they're trying to make him a villain. If that's the case,
with Maestro, I forget. It was just like a future version of the Hulk. I forget how he got that way, but I'll do some further research on it, because I mean it's been a long time since I've read that story.
But if we do go down that route with it, I mean, and say
I don't think that they may plant some seeds that, maybe the Savage Hulk could be taken back, the mind, pushing Banner out. We could see that, and then maybe set it up that way, or maybe even have it to where it's a multiverse tale where, you do see Savage Hulk, like we're in a certain reality, all goes to shit, and then Hulk is just, at the forefront of everything, just destroys everything. And then
he would really have to be pissed off at Bruce, right?
Yeah, pissed off at Bruce, or something would have to happen to Bruce to where his mind becomes fractured.
Ooh.
And then that Savage Hulk takes over, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna destroy everything."
I think there had to be some emotional trauma there. There's a couple people saying that it could be the death of his son.
Yeah.
Which I don't think will happen. I think it could. I think he's going to get back there. This is my theory. I think him and his son are going to start fighting maybe. But then at the same time, they have a huge opportunity because all the portals of the different worlds or galaxies lead to this one spot. That's how Thor left through the devil's anus to get back.
Yeah.
So maybe he wants to go back. Maybe people at Sakaar want, he was the biggest thing there.
Yeah. He was their champion, their gladiator.
Yeah, I mean, so
I know him from work.
And the Grand Master, I mean, he's not going to be in this one.
Yeah, I mean, there was a cut scene in Love and Thunder that Jeff Goldblum did come back.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it about?
I don't know. They just said that they filmed a cut scene and he wasn't there. I really want to see Beta Ray Bill. It's time for him to come in.
Who's that?
Beta Ray Bill and he wields Stormbreaker. Beta Ray Bill is an alien who basically, I think he fought with Thor, and Thor deemed him worthy, so he made him Stormbreaker. And Stormbreaker's kind of like Mjolnir.
It wasn't the Peter Dinklage role, was it?
No. Beta Ray Bill kind of looks like a horse, I guess. Yeah.
So he's McAvoy in Narnia.
Yeah. But no, he's not a Minotaur, but he's a very, very powerful, capable warrior, and his face is seen in in Ragnarok, like when you see the tower.
Okay, so he's one of those.
Yeah.
All right. I feel that. So, also, you know how Sakaar, they love their gladiator shows and whatnot. So this could also be Sakaar, a place for all the mightiest warriors to come. It could be a great place for Hercules to stop by, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That'd be pretty smart. I mean, why wasn't he with his father when Thor came in Love and Thunder? Where was he?
I don't know, but we'll find out.
And I think it's going to be interesting to see where they take that part, but it's going to be cool to see Savage Hulk back a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just wondering if they'll do the Gray Hulk. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Gray Hulk? But what is Red Hulk?
Red Hulk is actually Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh.
Yeah. He becomes something that he hates.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which kind of threw me for a loop, but I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right, dude. That's cool that he became a Hulk, the very thing that he hunts and hates.
But isn't the actor kind of up there in age?
Well, William Hurt died, so I don't think we'll ever see Red Hulk.
Unless they recast it and just Don Cheadle it, play it off.
Yeah, I mean, and with people who've died, you know, especially with Chadwick Boseman, since he played such an iconic role, yeah, would they recast William Hurt? I mean, I would hope so. There's people capable of filling that role, but are they going to recast Thunderbolt Ross? I want to see him do it.
I think they should.
I want to see Betty. I want to see Betty back too. I mean, Hulk had a love interest. I mean, Black Widow's nowhere around. She's dead.
And let's be honest, was she in love with Hawkeye? Who's she going after there?
Well, Black Widow was. She and Hawkeye were friends, but I mean, she and Bruce did have a relationship, and it ended when he, goes off.
So it's just subtext in the visuals.
Yeah, but now that she's dead, does Liv Tyler come back as Betty?
What do you think that percentage of that happening? I think you have to have a love interest. I mean, look at Thor, look at everyone. Downey.
Yeah. I mean,
and his character, I mean, let's face it, Hulk he was one of the first superhero movies. So he had to deal with all the, hey, this sucked. He was the character itself was the pioneer with, and who directed the first one?
What, Iron Man?
No, Hulk.
In the 2003?
With Banner.
Oh, that was Ang Lee.
Yeah, dude, great director. So, like,
it wasn't what people thought it was going to be. He made it to, I guess,
because it's a hard character.
Yeah, it is.
To show on screen.
Well, and also you have to strike a balance. Like, okay, you're going to get into his psyche, and that's one good thing that Ang Lee did. He got a little too technical with it, like about how a person can become this character, like in just thinking about in real life. But I like that he showed, what went into Banner becoming this Hulk. What was going on with him?
Was it his dad who had it in his DNA, abusive. Or did he start injecting Bruce after as well?
I know that he watched. I think he watched his father kill his mother. He was an abusive father.
Yeah. So
the way that the movie told it was like he kills his mother, and I think he was injecting him with stuff when he was a kid.
Yeah. So I remember that, but wasn't there something about how since his father had it in his system already, that injection, that's why the gamma didn't kill him or something?
Yeah, it was. They kind of alluded to that because then his father turns into the Absorbing Man,
which they didn't show, did they?
Well, they showed his power. They showed like him. He could turn his hand. He could like say like if there's like a blue railing, his hand would turn blue. He could absorb that, and so that's. I guess his father was I guess the Absorbing Man, but they didn't call him that.
Are his powers badass? I mean,
yeah. Well, Absorbing Man can absorb anything,
like
like wood, stone, and become.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and his body becomes as hard as stone. Yeah. So,
honey, you want to go to bed? Let me go get a piece of.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's one of Hulk's biggest adversaries too in the comics. But She-Hulk, they're saying that we saw the Wrecking Crew. Now, the Wrecking Crew are a bunch of villains that did fight the Avengers, mainly the Avengers, and I think Hulk and She-Hulk too. And
Those guys who attacked her, right?
yeah, and when they said Thunderball, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Wrecking Crew.
Okay, so what's their objective, and why were they trying to extract her DNA?
Well, the blood was, they said boss. So there's a theory going on that it could be the leader who we saw at the end of the 2008 Hulk. He was the guy, he was played by Tim Blake Nelson. He was the guy who got knocked out by the Hulk, and he got that gamma liquid in his head, and his head just grew. He starts to smile.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the leader.
So what good would her DNA do for them?
I guess he can sell it, or maybe even like duplicate it, like do what Hulk did.
There's no guarantee that anyone else would survive that, though.
Exactly, but it's always great to try, right? It's always
That's
fun to
true.
try.
I mean, he's probably all deformed looking.
Yeah,
so.
we got that head because he's got the gamma, and it's probably killing. That gamma radiation is probably killing him. He figures her blood could cure him.
Yeah, and that was also like the first time we kind of saw her fightish a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like some action-oriented stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, mainly the She-Hulk comics that Dan Slott did, which this series is based on. It was just a lawyer procedural, like a comedic lawyer procedural, lighthearted tone. They did have some action in it, though. I mean, but it was mainly just, like I'm saying, that little pocket that has like a lighthearted tone. And you see a lot of heroes, being lighthearted versions of themselves.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a great job with the humor and the She-Hulk. I think it does kind of have that CW feel with it, but that's not a bad thing.
No, because there have been some well-done CW shows. The first few seasons of The Flash and Arrow, and what do you call it, Legends of Tomorrow.
And it only looks like that. Let's face it, it's because of the budget. I mean, even when Wong came in episode 3, he was doing the same character, but it seemed
lighthearted.
It seemed different. It was just like, that's not regular Wong's character. But he said something interesting. He was like, erase everyone's memory. It's too messy. It's like, well, he brought it up in front of She-Hulk, which means he assumed that she would know. So maybe her
Doctor
breaking
Strange,
that fourth wall, and Doctor Strange said, he told Doctor Strange, leave me out of this. So maybe Wong does remember who Spider-Man is.
Yeah, well, and also he knew the spell that Doctor Strange was doing. Remember, he said, don't do that spell. Because remember, Wong was in there when he was talking to him about, hey, can you erase people's memories? And Wong was like, don't do it. Don't do it. So, yeah, he knew.
And we're starting to see a little bit of a wild side from Wong now, breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Kind of what Mordo was talking about, right?
Yeah.
So there's consequences to all this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mordo's very by the book.
Yeah, he's kind of like, hey, you're buzzkill.
Mordo's by the book. He believes that people, like I remember when Benjamin Bratt's character, said that he used the magic to help him walk again.
Yeah.
He believes that that's not what sorcery and magic are for. He has a different view of it.
I get it. You can, with a good villainish, you always have to be able to see it from their perspective. People, it's like, you don't agree with Thanos, but you get it. It's like, that's the easy fix, to kill or disappear half the population so there's more resources.
Yeah.
But with Mordo, it's just, man, like, they have such a good character with him, a great actor. So I really want to see more of him, not just the multiverse version of him.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see if Reed Richards is actually dead in that universe, because there's been comic book renditions of him kind of just stretched out. Maybe his head wasn't popped off, but very similar with the ribbons.
Yeah, like spaghetti and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so any chance you think that version is alive?
We'll have to see. I think pretty much he's dead. Like, everybody in that scene who died.
But isn't there a Reed Richards in the regular universe?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. Just how they bring, I've heard some things about the casting for Fantastic Four. Say Penn Badgley from Gossip Girl could be, Reed Richards. He's also on that Netflix show You.
Okay.
So
how do you think he'll do?
I think he'll do just fine, dude. I don't think he would be my first choice. I would want John Krasinski. But the thing is, he's already played him. for this multiverse version. But
I don't take it out of the picture of him coming back.
yeah, I mean, he can probably come back as another variant.
Yeah, I mean, I think Loki showed there's more similar variants than there are unsimilar variants. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll get the alligator, the kid,
The black dude.
the Persian dude. I mean, you never know, but for the most part, it was mostly Loki. I
Yeah.
think they added, and Loki was the only show so far that I actually liked from Marvel. Like, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, and
thought
then
it-
season 2's coming.
Yeah, and finally,
Mhm.
right? I hopefully it doesn't fall off though.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, well, just like with Luke Cage, first half of that series, great, and then it fell off the second half once they
Yeah.
killed Cottonmouth.
Well, okay, so with She-Hulk, we got 3 episodes down. How many episodes for this whole season?
I think
8?
like 6 to 8.
Okay, cool. When do we think we see Daredevil?
I say probably towards the end.
Cliffhanger into his series, or
Well, maybe not a cliffhanger, but he shows up, establishes that he's looking for somebody, and then, leaves. And then maybe, there's a courtroom scene when she goes up against Murdoch.
right? Isn't he the prosecutor or something? Or?
Yeah, he's a lawyer too, so like, I think Eldon Henson maybe comes back as Foggy.
Okay.
So, it's going to be interesting to see because, going from that this is like a lighthearted tone into the seriousness of Born Again.
Is it possible those goons that try to get She-Hulk's blood work for Kingpin?
Possibly, but I would like to think it's somebody on a higher scale. I think it's Samuel Stearns, a.k.a. the leader.
Okay. So what's the deal with the Skrulls? Are they good? Are they bad? What's
There's
going on?
some that are good, some that are bad. They infiltrate, like a civilization, and they can shapeshift.
What's the bad with them, and why is Samuel L. Jackson's character in a spaceship, or where is he?
Well, he's establishing a space version of Shield, so it's called Sword. So Sword's more like an intergalactic watch. Like where Shield was like that government watch. Well, this one's like an intergalactic one.
You think there's going to be any, like what's the guy's name who played the older version of Brad Pitt, the white guy of Shield, or Hydra? What was his name? Robert Redford. Is there going to be a Robert Redford kind of character who's kind of,
infiltrating?
Yeah, I mean, probably, right?
Maybe. I mean, but I don't know if you really want to repeat that because they did it so well, and
they do, but they circulate and they recycle a lot of the same formulas, which is not a bad thing. That's just how it's done sometimes.
Yeah, but different execution. So.
Right. Yeah. So, and I love Robert Redford. I thought he was great in those movies, man. Any chance you think we're gonna see Jon Favreau get represented by She-Hulk? His character happy after all that stuff happened?
Possibly.
I think that'd be pretty funny because he's hilarious.
I would love to see that. I would love to see it.
It'd be so funny, and I don't know. I think I had to go on my YouTube feed and just kind of block out all these videos like, oh, it's a disaster, and then Rings of Power is a disaster, or Game of Thrones. It's like, man, it's just like, then don't make a video. Like, I'm not saying these shows are my favorite, but it's better than not having them.
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna watch what they want to watch,
right? But to criticize, I mean, I get it. A lot of the stuff they want to bitch about, but at the end of the day, bro, it's just like, she's a good actress. She's a good actor. It's a good character. I think it's leading into something much bigger with the Secret Wars, and then eventually the Kang. Who's confirmed to be in the Kang Dynasty? Or?
Jonathan Majors, who was on Loki.
Okay.
He was a variant of Kang, but he's gonna be Kang.
Okay, I heard some news that some other characters were confirmed to be in those, but I'll have to get back on that. But I'm excited to see that. But as Marvel continues to, go on, what's going on with DC and WB, man? Aquaman, Shazam, all pushed again.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like it's like
Just
what are they?
cancel. Just,
It's like, what are they doing? And they're talking about like cancel the Flash. I'm just like, look, go on and bring the Flash out. If it's as good as you say it is, bring it out.
I'm starting to think it's not that good.
Hey, we don't know. I mean, we're just going off the word of the WB execs, you know?
Do you think these new execs are good? Because Christopher Nolan left under those old dudes.
Yeah, but there's not much leadership in WB. And this guy who's coming in now, I mean, he's got a lot of things that he's going to have to iron out.
A couple examples.
Well, the DC universe, DC
Right.
ECU. I mean, what are you going to do?
Pick a direction and go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is,
He came out and said he doesn't want to do the Snyderverse.
yeah, and he was like, "Oh, we regret,
And we're never going to work with him again. Like,
And the thing is, they're saying that like, "Oh, we never should have brought it out. You know, we just caved to fan demand." Well, these are the people buying the fucking tickets.
also, how rude is it to say that we should never have put it out? And
It's stupid, dude. I mean, look, you saw that the theatrical version sucked.
yeah,
I mean, so like people responded better to the Snyder cut. I did. I liked it a lot better than the Snyder cut. You know, there were some things about the theatrical cut that I did like they set it up for the Hall of Justice, and you know the race between Superman and the Flash
yeah.
at the end. That pretty much was the only thing I like. I mean, and I like Joss Whedon, but it's like they got him because of his magic with the Avengers.
Yeah.
But he's not always going to be the best choice for a team-up movie.
And let's be fair to him. Who knows who is breathing down his neck? I mean, I didn't even notice the Henry Cavill mustache thing. Honestly.
I did. You gotta really look.
Did you know about it but going in?
Yeah, I
okay, you noticed it then. Once I started looking for it, I started seeing it. But when I saw the movie,
yeah, once you even look at it, like he's kind of talking like this.
I just thought he talked that way. You're listening to Comic Construct with Shawnee Z and Jason Elliott. $34 minutes. Did you see the Tim Donaghy Netflix little movie?
I have not,
Dude.
I know he's totally disgraced.
He is, but it makes you wonder what the hell David Stern covered up.
Well, I remember that whole saga started when Van Gundy was like, "Oh, there's some people going after Yao. Somebody told me that you know they were targeting Yao Ming
In our playoff series?
Yeah, and
against
then
the Mavericks.
Yeah, and then I think the NBA went after him for saying that.
Man, they used to go after us for a lot of shit.
Yeah, they went after him for saying it. Like, who did you talk to? And I think it was Tim Donaghy. And then later found out he was being paid to fuck up the games.
And you know what's funny? He didn't make that much doing it.
No.
He made the Gambino crime family a lot of money, man.
Yeah. But, oh, boy.
Yeah, it's just the power trip. You know, he said they would play a game who would call the first foul. So him and Scott Foster in this documentary was mentioned all the time, dude. And it seemed like he's covered his ass. He hasn't talked to them since. And they used to be best friends, talking on the phone 20, 30 minutes in the morning and then 20, 30 minutes at night, the phone record show. So, you know, Chris Paul, James Harden, a bunch of players have problems with a ref like Scott Foster, but it just makes you wonder what the hell is going on. And that's why they legalized it, if you think about it. You know, so it's just, do you think sports are rigged? Can they be rigged? Is there influence?
Look at the 2002 Western Conference Finals.
Is that the Sacramento
and LA.
They show that one.
Bunch of ticky-tack fouls being called. Scott Pollard wasn't even near Shaq, and they call a foul on. And the thing is, the Kings should have won that series and the championship that year.
No, they really should have. But you think Game 7 was still in favor of the Lakers?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course it was.
More money.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, also they had won 2 championships at that point. Already had 2 rings, so 2000, 2001. So the thing is, the Lakers were that team that was, plus you're in a big market, LA, and you're going up against, New Jersey. I mean, a New York area team,
which is still it's still a big market.
Yeah,
you know?
wasn't the Knicks, but hey, it's still a New York area team.
There was something with that New Jersey Nets arena and color that I didn't like.
Well, they played in the Meadowlands Arena.
I don't know. I just feel it goes to show you how a color scheme can change everything.
Yeah, I mean the uniforms at the time,
like
were kind of
dark.
With that dark blue.
Navy's a hard color, especially when you're playing in bright lights. That's why Jay-Z was just like, let's make it black and white. Maybe he had an influence there.
Yeah,
man. But it looks like KD and Kyrie are kind of stuck together for the most part.
Yeah, and the thing is, look,
suck it up, in my opinion.
Yeah, suck it up. Play like men. Be like men and play. They're paying you a lot of money.
You too, Ben Simmons.
And don't even get me started on him. Work on your jump shot.
How do these players? Like, I'm never. I hate talking about people's contracts and money. I hate that, but I have to right now. How are these players getting these max contracts when they're not max players?
It's a team that's kind of desperate.
They're ruining the market.
Well, and also, like, I remember when Nicholas Batum got 5 years and $120 million. I'm like, huh?
That doesn't make much sense to me.
It doesn't. And I remember, well, you can even go back to 1997. Jim McIlvaine.
Who's that?
He was like a little bit player on the Seattle Supersonics. He had played with the Washington Bullets.
Black guy?
Yeah, white guy. Like a little crew cut and everything. And that was one of the reasons that Sean Kemp, found his way out of Seattle, because he was pissed off that they gave Jim McIlvaine, who averaged 2 points and 2 blocks a game, got a 5-year, $35 million contract. Now, this is 1997, so at the time, that's
a lot of cheese.
Yeah,
even right now.
Yeah. So Sean Kemp, and they told Kemp that I guess they couldn't give him, it was something with his contract negotiations. And he was like, huh? He's like, you're going to give this guy who's not the player that I am all this money, but you're going to hesitate on me?
And I think the hesitation would be fair, but I don't think you should have gave the money to the other dude too. Sean Kemp was a little bit of a wild card at times.
Well, but he had rounded into form.
Did he have a jump shot?
He actually had a little bit of a jump shot.
Okay.
He wasn't just a dunker. He had developed his jump shot, I want to say, in 95.
How was his defense?
Defense wasn't too bad, but offense, of course, he and Gary Payton, were just trouble together. That's why I hated that fucking team.
Do you think Gary Payton had the team around him he needed?
I think he did, but he ran into Michael Jordan.
The Rockets could not beat them.
That's why I just said I hated them.
Yeah.
I mean, every time that we played them in the regular season, they'd whoop us. Not until we got Barkley did we really start beating them.
That's ironic. How?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was Barkley's influence? It was just the matchup type thing?
Yeah. Well, we had matchup problems with them because when we got swept in 96, it was, I mean, okay, they had a team. They had Sam Perkins, Sean Kemp, Detlef Schrempf, Gary Payton, Vincent Askew, Nate McMillan. They had a bench. They had a squad, man. They had a bench and a starting five. We had matchup problems because there's no way that Kenny Smith is going to be a defensive problem for Gary Payton. Kenny Smith didn't really play defense.
Did we have Robert Horry that season?
Yeah, we had Robert. That was his last season.
Was that before we had Barkley?
Yeah, 95, 96. The 96 playoffs were where we got swept. We beat the Lakers, and then we got swept by Seattle. And I knew when we played them, oh, boy, they were going to give us trouble. And they did.
Was that our new uniforms?
Yeah, that was the first season for those,
man.
Yeah, that was the first season of those ugly-ass uniforms.
Which I still don't understand.
No, I don't either. I remember I went to the unveiling. My mom actually got us tickets for the unveiling. Clyde Drexler and his son were wearing they went on this little runway, and they unveiled the uniforms. I remember Calvin Murphy even saying that when I went to one of his basketball camps, he said, "Yeah, they're going to change the logo and the color scheme." And so,
was he excited?
I don't think, indifferent to it, because he was basically like,
I don't like that.
They had to, because we were the lowest selling merchandise in the league. Timberwolves and Clippers beat us. They were sorry ass teams.
I don't think that had anything to do with our logo, though.
But the thing is, you have to do something to drum up sales. The thing is, Les Alexander was not going to allow that.
I think if they stuck to that logo and maybe
I like it. I like the old logo.
Brought in a black jersey.
Yep, like the alternate road uniforms.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Bulls had. Bulls had that one in
Bulls
95
had
too.
the sexiest black jerseys, man.
Yeah, the road uniforms.
Ooh,
alternative,
the red popped on that jersey.
And the red pinstripes, yeah.
This year, the Rockets are bringing back the San Diego Rockets jersey, which is the Seattle Supersonics colorway. Dude, I want to see a green version of that, or even a yellow.
Yeah.
Oof. I don't. Well, why was it green though? San Diego Rockets.
I don't know, man.
The color scheme.
Well, that was the color scheme for San Diego,
right? Yeah.
When they moved the team here,
Yeah. So, Les Alexander, Drake McClain, were they known as cheap owners? Drake McClain was the Astros.
Les Alexander, not so much. But Drayton McClain, oh boy.
Dude, tell me some stories here.
Okay. I remember there was one, I think it was 1997. Darryl Kyle. He was our best pitcher.
For the Astros.
Yeah. Our best pitcher. And there were rumors circulating around that, we were going to offer him a 3-year, $21 million contract. Well, he ends up signing with Colorado. And he didn't do too well with them. And it was like, yeah, we offered him the 3-year, $21 million contract, but he just didn't want to take it. Well, Bagwell gets on, they interview Bagwell, and he was like, they did not offer him a 3-year, $21 million contract.
Damn,
because they had the same agent.
That's straight.
And so Bagwell was like, no, they didn't offer him that. I don't know what it was they offered him, but, Drayton McClain just let a lot of great players go. Like I think we could have kept Randy Johnson.
No way.
When Randy Johnson, he got a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Diamondbacks. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, that's not a whole lot of money, for a player of his caliber. And then we traded Ken Caminiti, Steve Finley. I mean, it was like,
you think it's always a money thing, or do you think it's an ego? Maybe they got in an argument. Maybe he wants to prove he doesn't have to pay this guy.
Probably, but a lot of times it is a money.
White owners back in the day,
Yeah, but it's like it is a money thing when it really boils down to it. Okay, I can't pay this guy, can't pay that guy. Let's find some takers for him, get something for him.
But let's look at the Astros this past year, for instance. We probably had the money to get Correa, sign him back, but
The thing with that was that they waited too late because Francisco Lindor of the Mets, when he signed that $341 mega deal, then Carlos Correa was like, "Well, I want that."
Okay, see this. Okay, these players. Do you think he deserved that contract? Like
Lindor?
Like I'm not saying,
Well, Lindor is a better player than
but
Carlos
that's
Correa.
a lot of money, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, in a market like California, New York, they can afford to pay that. But you come here, to say Seattle or with the Astros, you can't always give a contract like that. That hamstrings your team. And the thing is, the reason why Jim Crane